Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about all of my US military items. Now some of this, like this ammo, possibly isn't US military, but they have a head stamp that makes me think they're military, so I'll let y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. But they have like older head stamps with the dates on them, and I was thinking maybe that's military. I'm not too sure. But if not, then you're free to tell me down below in the comments that, hey, you're wrong on that. But either way, I wanted to include it because, one, I think it's worth including considering this here, this 50 caliber round that's live, is actually military. So, something like that, actually, yeah. But we're going to go through and just all this stuff, obviously not the way it's set up right now, but I'm gonna move it all onto my bed and we'll do it one by one, I guess, is what we'll do. Maybe I'll like start with the shovels and then move it and then throw it on my bed, and then probably by the time this video's done I'll probably go and put it all back, is what I'm thinking. So we'll probably just go start with the shovels and then, you know, something like that. Or I'll just throw it all on my bed and we'll see where we go from there. So before we get any deeper in this video, I wanted to thank y'all for all the support this year. My first video I posted on March 19th, and since then we have gained 224 subscribers, and currently I believe we're sitting at just over 100,000 views on this channel. So I want to thank y'all for all of that. It would not have been able to be done without all of you tuning in every day that I post a video, or every day that you do. So I want to thank you all down below in the comments who comment, or any of you who watch these videos, because it means a lot to me to be able to just reach out about something that I love, which is history, and be able to teach it in the way that I do. So hopefully that, you know, when 2025 is coming to an end, since it's December 17th at time of recording, hopefully 2026 has, you know, a lot of potential for us too, because I would love to do a lot of bigger projects, get a little crazier, because I think it'd be really nice to spice it up a bit, maybe in terms of just some videos, in terms of what I want to make. So we'll see what happens from there, see what I can do. If y'all ever have any ideas or anything like that, put it down below in the comments, and we're gonna get started with the video. So first we're gonna be going over all of the medals that I have here, and just other miscellaneous stuff that is US military. Technically not just military, such as this. This isn't military. This is a World War II ration token. These were used, I believe, in 1944 is what they were used in, if my research off the top of my head is correct. But I might have to refresh my memory, but pretty sure these were used in 1944, you know. They were kind of a little, what would you want to say? Like a one-time thing, because usually they would use ration books and stuff like that, and I guess they said, hey, what if we use these? And I can't really remember which is which. Like, one of these red ones had a purpose, and one of these blue ones had a different purpose. I can't specifically remember. That's what that is. Maybe someday I'll do a video on in-depth, like, ration tokens, stuff like that. I think that would be cool if I got some ration books. I think that would be neat. But the only problem with getting a ration book is I don't know if I should get one, like, with the name and show it, especially with the address. I'm like, I don't know about that one. So, I don't know. I think if anything, maybe I'll get a ration book and just showcase the main pages that don't have some personal information on there, because, I don't know, it's just out of respect, I guess. But we're really going to get into the other stuff, just, you know. And also, I did say US military stuff. As you can see, I have some of it over there still. I do also have this canteen here from 1980. This is actually not military from what I'm learning. The military ones were these olive drab, like green ones here. But anything other than that, like this tan one, for example, is civilian market. Just for anyone curious. So you'll see that right there, because that's where I leave it. But as you can see here, I have this medal here, which is the 75th anniversary of World War I. Still in its original case. At least I believe this is its original case, but it looks super nice. I mean, that's what the back looks like. You can see A Grateful Nation Remembers 1918 to 1993. And it says, they came on the wings of eagles. Which I think is just super neat. Such a nice thing. What I like doing is I like keeping these two medals in there. Which this is the Army Good Conduct Medal, U.S. Army Good Conduct Medal. And this is the U.S. Marines Good Conduct Medal. I want to get one for each branch that has one. That is something nice that I like to do, because I believe the Air Force and the Navy has one. So I want to get those two. I gotta look up and actually see what they look like. Maybe try my luck sometime on eBay or something like that. I think that'd be neat. Also, I have this little thing you put, I believe this is a collar. You put this on your collar to signify not really rank, I guess. I really can't remember specifically if this goes on your collar or not. But it would go on your uniform somewhere, maybe your collar, not sure. Just, you know, alongside your rank, it'd complement that. I can't really specifically remember. I'm just trying to go off of my head on a lot of this stuff. So I'm just like, if there is something I mess up on or something you have more information on, you are welcome to post that down below in the comments, because this is not an in-depth video on everything I have, because if I did that, this video would be too long, and it's already going to be really long. Like I said, I'm recording this on December 17th, going on to December 18th, because it's basically midnight right now, so I'm recording all this, and I'm going to post this tomorrow on December 18th. So yeah. As you can see here, I have these medals, which I thought were Vietnam War medals. I have done a video on these as well, but they are not Vietnam War medals. I have no honest clue when they're from, but they look super neat. I don't remember the price I paid for them. Sadly, looks like they're oxidizing, I think. They're gold-plated, though. They actually do weigh a bit, and they look nice, but I think they're just gold-plated is what it is. I don't know what they're made of, though. Let me zoom in a bit just to make it easier. You can see there is oxidation and all that. I don't know how to keep that from happening, because usually I hang them up here with all my other stuff, as you can see. And I think I hang them like right here beside this little thing here, which is not U.S. military. I actually debated showing this, which I'll show this real quick, just, you know, because I think it's neat. You can see this says Stuttgart American High School. It's super hard to read because I haven't actually zoomed in. That's a bit better. You can see it's cool. It's like a little sports badge, I guess, like a medal. I think it's super neat, considering it's a medal for a American high school in Germany, which I believe is inactive now. But it used to be a thing, I guess, back in the 60s or something. To whoever knows how long. Can't specifically remember how long that school was open for. I just think it's neat, because it's like a Cold War era, like, piece of history. But with these medals, we're just gonna go left to right. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath just talking, but I also didn't show this. This is the Army medal. This is what the back of it looks like. Let me show the back a bit. You can see there. And then this is what it looks like if I zoom in on the front. Super neat. And this is the Marines medal. This is the front of it. And this is the back of it. You can see I actually have two of these. I have this loose one, you know, but I also have this one here, which is gold plated on this little bar, I guess this is. I want to say this is what you'd wear on your uniform, but what doesn't make sense to me is if you wore this on your uniform, what's the point of this little tab, you know, that sticks out? Is it so that you can put it on easier? Yeah, that's my only guess. Because that's what I really want to know. Because I'm not into the whole, like, uniform thing of the U.S. military and all that stuff. I'm more into the canteens, as you can see. I got, like, I don't know how many canteens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, 10 canteens or something like that, I guess. And then 11 if I count that one. Then I also have my 2 German ones there, which I will be doing a video on my German stuff, which won't just necessarily be military. I'll have some historical coins to throw in there as well, because if I just did it for military, it would be a really short video, and I don't like that. I would rather include the coins, because it's still interesting to me. So, and the reason I didn't include coins in this one is because it would be too long, because I want to do that separately. So, but my first thing is, what does this little star on it mean? If anyone knows, that's what I want to know, what that star means. But as you can see, it's just basically this metal, but gold plated with a star on it. I'm not too sure what that star represents. Maybe it's something about the level of good conduct, I guess, they received. And then you can see here, there is a National Defense Medal. So we're going from, wait, let me flip this over. I can actually just let you read this if you'd like to. So from the left, which is the Marine one here, it says here, Good Conduct Medal, exemplary behavior, efficiency, and fidelity in active federal military service. The Marine Corps version of the medal was established in 1896, which is, I think, just before the Spanish-American War. I believe in 1898, so that's kind of interesting to me. So then if we go to the middle left here, National Defense Service Medal, which is this one here, as you can see. Which, like I said, a lot of oxidation or whatever that is on it. I am not sure what that is, and it really bugs me because I really want to clean it, but I don't know if I should. It's just showing its age ever since I bought it. I don't know whether it's just the conditions it's been in, because like I said, it's just hanging basically right beside that on those little pins. And yes, those are little 9mm like casings that my dad ended up converting into a little pin like that. So I think that's interesting. It's a little project. You can see that's what it looks like on the back though. And if we read this, National Defense Service Medal, established by Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1953, and it's awarded to every member of U.S. Armed Forces who has served during the Korean War, Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War, and the global war on terrorism from 1950 to present day. So I think that's pretty interesting. I actually made these notes probably like a couple years ago, so there's definitely some stuff on here that I went and, you know, had to change around over time. But, you know, now we're on to the middle right. Yeah. So, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, as you can see here. Let me see if I can make this a little easier. Here, I actually got a better idea. Let me do this. That makes it a little better, I guess. But Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal says there, Armed Forces Expeditionary Service. And on the back, you have this, United States of America. I don't know that's definitely some form of oxidation or something. I've seen that on pennies before. I don't know what that is. But looks super nice. Either way, gold plated, like I said. They might, I don't know what they are, but they're definitely gold plated. They're not just made of gold. I can just tell that. So I sincerely doubt gold would do that. So like I said, they're probably some kind of crappy-ish metal with gold plating on it, if I had to guess. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's what that is. This one here, sorry, this one here is not that one. This one here is this one up here. But as you can see here, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal awarded to members of U.S. Armed Forces who, after July 1st, 1958, participated in U.S. military operations, U.S. operations in direct support of the United Nations, or U.S. operations of assistance for friendly foreign nations. So I think that's pretty interesting. It's like this whole bar of medals has a lot of history to it that I think is just neat to me. And then if we go to the right, we got the Humanitarian Service Medal, which was created by President Gerald Ford on January 19th, 1977 under Executive Order 11965, and it was awarded to military members who distinguish / show themselves by meritorious participation in specified military acts or operations of humanitarian nature. Which just genuinely makes me wonder, when in the world would someone have got these and why? Because it's like, you got the Marine Medal, right? You got a National Defense Medal, and then you got a, what is that, Expeditionary Medal, then you got a Humanitarian Medal. So it's like, when could they have got these? Is there like a set time? I don't know. Makes me wonder though. So now we're gonna move off of the medals and move into the ammunition that I have. So after putting up the medal, as you can see, and just the other stuff, you can see that's where I hang those little medals I was talking about, the gold-plated ones. Now we're gonna go over all the ammunition stuff that I was just talking about. You can see I have a whole like belt here of 50 caliber casings that have been shot, like 33 of them on here. I took 1 or 2 of them off. I think I gave one, like, what is this called? Belt? Like a chain thing, whatever you call it, made of steel. Ammo links is what it's called, I guess. Steel ammo link. Gave one of these, I think, to my dad, same with the casing. Just because, you know, I was like, hey, he's still interested in the ammunition stuff, so I thought it was just neat. But, you know, how about instead of knocking it over 200 times, because I have absolutely just hammered this thing. I am so glad that this thing doesn't go off every time you do that, because that would suck. I am just clumsy right now, but get a little bit of better angle with my hand. You can see this says LC on the bottom. That should be Lake City if my thing here is correct. That is, yeah, Lake City Arms Ammunition Plant. I have my whole thing here. I'll let you see it. I have my whole like little notes there if you'd just like to take a picture of that or write anything down. But that's what that means, because we're going to go over that in a minute. I also, if you looked at the second half of my notes, I noticed with the ammo links there's a bunch of random symbols on it, which I cannot seem to find it on this one. Does this one have one? I don't know. No, it does. It just doesn't want to show up that well on camera, as you can see. There's like some faint markings on it right there. Maybe that's not that. It's noticeable on some other ones, but this is, you know, one of the casings off of that. Same with the link. And this is a live API round, which is pretty friggin' hefty. Like, you put this thing besides a little, you know, 30-06. I mean, seriously. That's a pretty big round right there. And this would go in like your M2 Browning and stuff like that at that time, because as you can see here on the bottom, which I will show here in a second. Get this right. Oops. Get this right again. And see SL4. So this is from 1944, which is kind of odd. But I guess this plant in 1944 did a 4 instead of a 44. But this is from St. Louis Ordnance Plant, which is what the SL means, which I think is just neat. You know, it's just a cool piece of history right there, even if it is a live round. I would never shoot that, because one, it's history. Two, I don't know the damage that thing would do after like 81 years. Because that thing is actually 81 years old. It's kind of crazy to think 81 years and this thing still looks pretty nice. I mean, you know, and I didn't even have to pay a penny for it, so that's also good. But now we're going to go over this little 5.56. I have this, like I said, you know, just has the little, this one's a live round, I think. It just has a little dent in it, so it just wasn't that good, sadly. I don't think they're really military, but being honest, I would like to get a second opinion on it. But this is super hard to see probably on camera. Let me flip this around a little bit and see. If I keep moving it around, you can see there's a little head stamp on there. You can see this one hasn't been fired. But on the bottom it says, I believe that's a 13. Super hard for me to read it, but I think that's a 13, so 2013, I guess. Not exactly old or anything, but super neat either way. And you see I got these two casings here, which I believe weren't in great condition because they had a dent in it somewhere, or some sort of not so great thing. Yeah, there was a dent there. You can see there, that's an 89. And then this is a 93 or a 98. I think it's a 93 though. I don't know if they're really military, but you know, I was just like, I'm gonna include them anyways, just in the off chance they are. So, and then this is a bunch of 30-06 I have that is more than likely military if I had to take a wild guess. And the cool thing about 30-06, funny story, 30-06 is technically, in a way, this wasn't its original form, because it used to be 30-03 with like a rounded like tip and all that stuff, but they, you know, end up changing it 3 years later with 30-06. So cool little story I'm not going to talk about. I just think it's maybe a story for another video. I just think it's super neat because I believe the Americans actually copied the Germans on that, so that's kind of funny. Because I believe that's what happened. Don't quote me on that. Just, you know, neat little story. But these all are corroded. They're all from 1953. I believe from the same plant, same manufacturer. As you can see, none of them ever fired. Which I can zoom this in. So you can see Lake City, 1953 on the bottom. None of them are ever fired. They had a bunch of water damage, I believe. So they would probably never fire. Honestly, I would never even want to fire them anyways, because, to be honest, don't really see the point. And, like, these I just have in two separate bags, because, one, you can tell these have water damage. I mean, seriously, you can tell those have water damage. These are okay. I mean, like, you know, they're a bit corroded, but, like, would I ever fire them? No. Would I like to clean some of them up? Yeah. I think it'd be cool to just clean some of them up, maybe display them a little bit. Especially since if you look at some of these at a decent angle, they don't look that bad. Like, for example, I think it's this one. Yeah, like, if you look at it from this side, it actually doesn't look terrible. I mean, it has a bit of corrosion and all that on it, but, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. As you can see, like, the primers, the bottoms. This is the primer on the bottom, I believe. This tip is your projectile, the bullet, basically. And then, you know, you got your casing, gunpowder and all that stuff inside. So, I just think it's neat, you know. And I'm going to actually, before I end off this tiny little segment, I'm going to flip these over so you can view all the head stamps on the bottom. So now you can see all the head stamps on the bottom now that I've flipped it over just to make it easier. You can see there's 4 main ones, which, like I said, is why I have these on here, because there is more manufacturers than just these 4. It's just these are the 4 main ones that are on mine. These are just the 4 that are on mine, basically. So that's why they're on that piece of paper. But as you can see, RA is Remington Arms, as you can see there. And these have been fired. Like I said earlier, you can see the little imprint in them, which your rounds that have not been fired do not have, such as that or that on the 30-06 or that on the 5.56. So that's one way I know they're fired. So if I had to guess, maybe someone later on felt sentimental or something like that and said, hey, let's go on ahead and put these on there, just, you know, for purposes, because I'm 99% sure you cannot use the old primer and fire it twice that way, because I don't think that works like that. I think it's a one and done situation. You fire these once, you got to put a new primer on them when you're reloading them. So don't take that, like, if I'm wrong on that, correct me. I'm not crazy on terms of my knowledge of how guns and ammunition works as much as other people. I am not as smart on that, but I'm getting there. I'll put it like that. But the M means Milwaukee. Milwaukee Ordnance Plant, as you can see there. And that's really all of the ones that are on there, like Milwaukee Ordnance Plant, as you can see, Remington Arms, St. Louis, and Lake City. So that's really the only ones, but I think they're just super neat considering there's 33 on them, I believe. So we're going to go on ahead and I'm going to turn that back over. And now I'm going to go on ahead and put all this up, and then we're going to go over some other stuff that I have, like the mess kits there, the little booklets, that ammo can right there, and that little medical box. And yeah, it's probably what we're gonna go over next. So I'll be right back. So now, after putting away all the little ammunition and stuff like that and the belt, I'm going to show you this stuff here, which after this, all we got to go over those canteens, that small little belt there, as you can see, which I'll go over that with the canteen there, and that artillery shell casing there, and the 2 shovels right there, as you can see. Actually, I do have a 3rd shovel that I have to go over, so I might have to grab that here in a minute. So I'll probably grab that once I start talking about my shovels. So yeah, let's get right into this here. So I have these 2 little old books from around the end of World War I or something like that. This has the if it focuses, 106th Regiment Engineers on here, World War I of Dixie Division, builders of Camp, a little hard to read, Pontanese. I don't know what that says, but, you know, it's a little odd, you know. It's kind of interesting, you know, published by France, the enlisted men of this command, you know, just a bunch of random stuff it says, just a kind of old thing, pictures of soldiers. Kind of neat, though, considering this is, like, definitely well over 100 years old. It's got to be, like, depending on when they made this, like, you got to say, like, 1918 is when the war ended. Did they get this in 1919? Probably not. Who knows? So still at least, like, almost 110 years old, something like that, give or take. So I'm going to set that to the side. You can see I got this one of just pictures of Versailles and just stuff like that. Which is just neat considering, you know, it's just a lot of random pictures here. Like, just a lot of, you know, random just pictures and stuff like that. I guess this was stuff that the soldiers were taking home I don't know whether every soldier had this or if this is just something random little book that they could buy or something. I'm not too sure what really happened with that. Same with this, but this obviously is just for the 106th Regiment Engineers. So I think that's super neat either way, personally. So we're going to set both of these to the side. I got, by the way, someone in my family served in World War I, which is why I got these. So never paid for them, none of that. They were passed down to me. And then here I have this med kit from 2009. I bought it empty. As you can see here, engineered plastics, Philadelphia, might not be Philadelphia. I don't know what in the world that is supposed to be then, but FPHILA something PA, maybe something Pennsylvania. I'm not too sure. That's my guess. I said that's a little funny, but no, that's probably Pennsylvania. I think the city is Phila or something like that, however you pronounce it. But from 2009, you can see 09. So I think that's neat. I just put a bunch of random stuff in there that, you know, worked for it. You can see just a bunch of random stuff, just nothing time period related, just medical stuff. I'm gonna set that on my bed right there. Same with these two books. And then we're gonna go over these two mess kits real quick because I'm not doing anything in depth right now. So as you can see, this one I don't ever shut because it's way too much of a pain to open. So this one is US EA Co. 1945 stainless steel. Same with that one, is stainless steel, but that's 1967, so Vietnam era. So super neat. If I just open this up, you can see on the bottom all the burning on the bottom, but I think it's neat because the guy I actually bought this off of, he actually had pictures of the guy who in his family actually used it. I think he said it was his grandfather or something like that, if memory served me correct. So it's neat, you know, bought it off a guy, he had the history, so just something neat, you know. I think it's neat though, just looking at this, considering that, you know, they used this, you know, something similar that you could either just throw it in the bottom or you could just do that and have it like a tray, you know, or, you know, stick this on a certain way. I believe you could do this, if memory serves me correctly. Come on, it's a little hard to do this one-handed, but you can see you can kind of do that too if you just want to store it. Super neat. Just kind of a neat piece, personally. Stick this back on. Oops. Don't want to lock that in place, so we're just going to shove that back on for a moment. And yeah, that's a little project there. And this one here is from 1967. As you can see, little code thing on there. Now this one's much easier to function, as you can see. Like, this one is super easy to function. I mean, the only hard part, I guess, is opening the little thing. But it's the same as the other one, just nicer condition. Still stainless steel. Same M1942 mess kits is what they are. So, the other one was World War II. This one's Vietnam era. So, nothing too crazy on that note. Man. I'm messing up here. There we go. Super easy to function. I mean, I'm functioning it with one hand just to put all this stuff on my bed right there for now, because I'm going to put that up in a minute. So now we're going to talk about this, which I am going to just showcase a few markings first, because I'm going to set my phone down and just do it that way, because I want to be able to open this a little better and close it and showcase a bit better. But I have done a video on this if you'd like to see a short as well. But as you can see here, you have markings there. You have the U.S. Flaming Bomb, as you can see, and you have this here, which is a company that made this. which I actually have notes on this here. Owens, Illinois Can Company. You have 4 different companies that made 30 caliber ammo boxes. Crown, Reeves, Owens, Illinois Can Company, and Canco. But Owens, Illinois Can Company, they had the symbol on it instead of the name of the company like these guys did, as you can see there. So just, you know, little notes. I like showing my notes just because, you know, if someone doesn't I guess wants to just pause and read it, then, you know, that works too. So now I'm going to set my phone down here in a minute, and we'll look at this. But it's a really nice one. I mean, the cool thing is it has this yellow text on here, which just basically is just means it was reused in the Korean War, Vietnam War. But this is what you would use for the M1919 Browning, which is the M2's little brother, essentially, which is a 30 caliber machine gun. So you just probably put the belt in there, I guess, if that's what they put it in. That's my guess. So now I'm going to set my phone down, and I'm going to open this thing up, and you'll get to see a little bit. Actually, I can open this up real quick, but closing it, not so much. So I can open this real quick. So it's really awkward to open one-handed for me. Hang on, I'm going to pause it real quick. There we go. That's done. Alright. I'll show how to put the lid back on as well. Just, I wanted to get that, but I wanted to do that like that because there's a marking down in the bottom, as you can see, that shows which way the bullets go, which I think is kind of neat. I just think it's a cool little detail, you know. It's just neat, you know. It's a little piece of history that I think a lot of people don't realize. And so now I'm going to set my phone down, and I'm going to show you this. So to put the lid back on this, here's what I got to do. I have the lid here. As you can see, there's this little hole right there. I have to take this, swivel that around, as you can see. And I'm going to slide this little thing right here in there, like so. And then I'm going to basically clamp it down like that. And then there's this, as you can see, this. Now, this may look weird, but what you do, keep that up for now, do this, and you can do it similar to this. This is how I just like doing it. I like holding down the whole thing like that until it eventually does that. As you can see, that's closed. It's really nice and tight. It will not open, it will not, you know, jangle around a lot, but I think it's neat considering you carry it something like this. I mean, this is a bit rusty, but it's still super nice. I mean, seriously, it's just, I'm sure the soldiers appreciated this over a wooden one, because I believe wooden ones did exist, not like of this exact model, but I believe wooden ones did exist just during World War I believe it was. At least I remember that correctly, maybe. But I think this little thing here was actually for a little strap. Like a little cloth strap would go right here, if memory serves me correctly. So yeah, I'm going to go put all of this stuff up real quick, and then we'll get into the 3 shovels and the artillery casing. And so now we're going to be going over the 3 shovels that I have, Vietnam and World War II, and that artillery casing here. So I'm going to go over this artillery casing first. I'm going to put this in my lap real quick because it's just easier to do it this way. So this is a 105 millimeter howitzer, I believe it is. And I'm not going to lie, I might actually set this on the floor to talk about it. That's yay big. And see, I mean, I don't really know a good measurement of how to say how big this is, but I mean, you can see it is a 105 millimeter howitzer from what I know of. It's just on the bottom, as you can see, there's just no markings whatsoever. I don't know why there's no markings, could never really figure that out. But I mean, if anyone knows why there's no markings, you're welcome to tell me in the comment section below. So I'm gonna go on ahead and just put this somewhere. I'm gonna put that over there for now. We're gonna go over the shovels, starting with this one because the other two are in covers. So this is basically the same as that shovel in a sense there, except this one, for some odd reason, I guess someone put some rope on the bottom. And this one, like I said, is the same as the other one in the sense that this is US Ames 1945. I did clean these up and I'm not going to function them right now. Probably here in a few minutes I will, once I'm done yapping about both these shovels. But this one is probably my best M1943 style shovel. Just because, one, no little damage at the bottom with the rope. Two, has a cover. I paid $60 for this whole thing. And I mean, seriously, if I take this cover and all this stuff out, like, look at this shovel. It's just in pristine condition. It looks so nice. And you can see US Ames 1945. So, same as the other one in that sense. So, and this cover is made by... Get it right there. Atlas Awning 1945. Doesn't function very well, but I mean, I'm fine with that. But you can see this, what the back of it looks like. Not too knowledgeable on the covers and stuff, but that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go put this in the back in the cover right now. And then this here is my M1969 folding shovel, I guess is what it's called, in a cover which is not accurate, I guess, to this shovel. In a way, it's not accurate. This is 1986, and this shovel is 1975. Just let me take this out. Reason why I say it's not accurate is because, yes, it's technically accurate to the shovel in terms of that it goes together, but in terms of years, it doesn't match. So I'd love to one day get a nylon cover for this, but I mean, this does function pretty well. That was really loud, but I mean, you can see folding shovel here. I'm gonna actually set my phone there for a minute and then we'll go over this real quick. So as you can see here, this is the M1969 shovel all unfolded. But if I wanted to fold this, let's say, how do you do it? Well, you do this. Also, before I do that, this is the same on the M1943 shovel, this little twist system to lock it and unlock it. So just a quick thing there, because I'm not trying to go heavy on the information on these shovels, because I have done videos on these shovels. If you would like to go check that out, you can find them on my channel. But you fold this little blade thing like that, and then you can fold this back like that, and that's done. And then I can just shove it back in the cover like so. Throw that over here. And if you want to see how I do this one, the M1943, on how to fold and unfold it, this is currently in the locked position. So if this unlocks, it's been in this position for a while, so might not want to unfold right now, actually. No. Oh, there we go. Took a little bit of force, but you can see got a couple different positions for this. Again, it's a little bit of a pain because it's 80 years old, so I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a pain. So, I mean, you know, not terrible, I'm being honest, you know. It's not too bad, but I mean, if you're asking would I want to go to combat with this shovel, which is actually pretty big in a sense, because if I go and there we go. If I go and do this, come on. back down. There we go. It's a little bit of a pain. It's just, I'm trying to get used to doing this again because I haven't really touched the shovel in a while. If you're asking if I'd rather have this, which sits on your hip, I believe, well, actually they wouldn't have that on their hip. They usually had it on their back somewhere. But, if you're asking would I rather have that, or if I'd rather have this, I would 10 times out of 10 rather have this. So, just because literally you could probably stuff this in a backpack and you'd be fine. You would not have to like carry this on your belt or any of that. So it's just super nice. And on the back it has the Alice clips, so super nice. So now we are gonna go over the canteens, which I'm gonna put all of those on my bed because of the fact that I have a lot of those, and I am just gonna quickly blow right through every single canteen I have. Not gonna go too heavy on detail because we're probably over 30 minutes by now. So I excuse for the long video, just a lot of information packed into one video. So now we're going to be going over every little canteen that I have, which is US, starting from this 1917 to 18 one, all the way to the one from right there, which is 2002, I believe. So we're going to start with this one, and I have my information there. This here is a seamless canteen from 1917 to 18. This is before they started making them seam. Well, technically not before, it was during that time, but they didn't make them dated like 1918 yet and all that. And then, this is a matching cup, 1917 to 18. Reason I know that is just some research. So that's what that is. We're going to set that there for a moment and grab this 1918 canteen, which the reason I know this is 1918, this is a World War I canteen. This has a, right here, US 1918 B.A. Co., which, if you're wondering, these are all of the companies right there. B.A. Co. is Buckeye Aluminum Company, B.A. Co. So that's one of the ones I have there. We're going to grab the next one, just keep doing this. I'm going to set it right here for a minute and grab this little belt with it, because I bought, I think it was this canteen came with this cover and this belt here, I believe it was. So, but I just wanted to put that with it because personally I really like this one more with this, because this canteen inside of it's genuinely not the world's greatest looking. I don't know why, it just looks really puffed up to me. But this is AGM Co., which, if you're wondering what that is real quick, that is, where is it? Right there. Aluminum Goods Manufacturing Company, AGM Co. And so I'm going to shove that right back in there. Actually, shoved that in there the wrong way. As you can see, put that in there in the cover. And the cover is actually, if I can remember where it is, it's actually, where is it? Right there. Kemper Thomas Company from 7/1918, which is July 1918. So during World War I is when this was made. I think that's super interesting. Then you have this belt here, which somewhere on here has a year. I'm not too sure where it is. Right there, you can see the bullet with Mills on it. I don't really remember the year on it. Probably 1918, I think. So just fold that up and throw it right there for a minute. And that leads us to World War II, so I'm going to pause and move these. Alright, so I got my World War II canteens out, and one detail I wanted to note is during World War I, 10 to 11 million World War I canteens made by these 5 companies, which are right there. Currently, the companies I don't own for my World War I canteens are Aluminum Company of America, ACA, J.W. Brown Company, JWB Co., which is what that is in short, And Landers, Ferrari, and Clark, which is LF and C. So I don't own those, and I don't own a World War I mess kit yet. So we're going to move on to World War II, which has a ton, I mean a ton of different, companies that made them, which I don't have them all. That would be a lot to collect. So we're going to move on to those now. So I pulled this canteen out of the cover. As you can see, this is a US AGM Co. 1945, which I think is neat. As you can see, Bakelite cap. That's what that is. And the cover is World War II, kind of late World War II. Somewhere on here, there is a date. I think it's somewhere right there. Should say 1945. You might be able to faintly read it. If I put it a little more in the light, you might be able to see it. But it does say 1945 on there. So that is what that says. If I put this back in the cover, just set that there. And then I have this canteen here, which is on the tag. It says Vollrath 1943. I have all 3 years, I think, of Vollrath now. So that's super interesting. As you can see, this on the bottom says Vollrath 1943. And I'm going to set that there. And then here I have this canteen cup, which these are M1942 canteens. The one that I just showed in here is an M1910 style canteen. And these are stainless steel, same with this cup. And this cup here. World War I canteens, by the way, are also M1910 style canteens. So, and this cup here is US Foley Manufacturing Company, 1945. I cleaned that up a bit too. And stuck that with the Vollrath 1943 cup, just because they both look really nice cleaned up. So as you can see here, I have this Vollrath from not Vollrath. Actually, no, I don't have all the Vollraths. Thought I did. No, I don't. But I have this SM Co. 1945, which I'll show the bottom real quick. Flip it around. You can see US SM Co. 1945. But I don't have all the years of Vollrath. I thought I did. But I have this Vollrath one here from, is it 44 or 45? Vollrath 1944, as you can see. If I flip this real quick, you can see US Vollrath 1944. So I'm going to go put these up real quick, and we'll move on to the Cold War era US canteens and the modern ones. And so now, since I put my World War II ones away, let me just show all these companies. You got AGM Co. all the way down the list. I'm just not even going to read them all. I'm just going to go through this and let you pause if you want to read them. And there's 20 plus different canteen manufacturers. And I don't think anywhere I listed how many were made. Yeah, I don't think I did. But let me flip here to Vietnam real quick. Okay. So this one here is from Let me get it out. Jeez. There. It's a little harder doing it one-handed. But this is a US Miro 1953 canteen from the Korean War era. So that's what that is. And this here is the canteen cup I matched with it, which is US BE Co. 1953. Definitely heavily used. Still pretty nice. Like I said, Korean War era. This is an M1910 style canteen with an M1942 style cup, is what that is. And then this here is my kind of early Vietnam display, which I think is neat. You have this M1956 canteen cover, which I believe is from September 1958 is what that says on the bottom. If I take this canteen out, which is a little rougher than it looks to do sometimes, just because I'm doing this one-handed, like I said. This is from Miro in 1962. And the canteen cup, I have to match it, and that's a 1910 canteen. It's from 1965. And so this is made of aluminum or something like that. And this canteen cup's made of stainless steel or something random like that. But this is U.S. Rogers, Akron, Ohio, 1965. So that is my little display. You know, I would put the canteen cup in there too, but they are way too hard to get out. So I'm going to pause this real quick, and I am going to go on ahead and start going over this one. Alright, so now we're going to go over this M1961 canteen I have here, which, let me get this out of its canteen cover. Jeez. Oh, I just realized it's probably why it was so hard to get out. I have the canteen cup in here with it, which is surprisingly not as much of a pain to get out as it looks, just because I'm doing this one-handed. But this is a nylon cover. This is what the original M1969 shovels cover was made out of. Like I said, want to get an original cover for it. But this cover is an LC2, I believe it is, from, I think the year was 2000. Like 2000. So, you know, believe is what it is. Got the Alice clips on the back. You got this butterfly handle canteen cup, kind of, with the same design, kind of the M1942 canteen cup, besides the butterfly handles now. And this is your M1961 canteen, which is made of plastic. And as you can see here, the early M1961 canteens cost just as low as 18 cents, which today is around $2, I believe. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, seriously, you think you pay, like, on the market usually like $5-10 for these, usually anymore. If you're buying off like eBay or just something like that, sometimes you can pay more if it's like a 1963 or a 1964, 1965, which I'd love to get one from those years at one point. So, you know, super neat. But one thing I think is so neat about this is these are recyclable, which I believe somewhere, as you can see, the M1961 was intended to be neither repaired nor cleaned when unserviceable due to damage or unsanitary conditions. So I think that's just super neat. And with that, we are basically done talking about all of my U.S. military stuff. So right here, I am going to turn the camera around and talk for a bit. So for everyone who stuck around to the end of the video, thank you. This has been a bit of a long video. It's like 30 to 40 minutes long, I believe, right now. So I'm sorry for that. If you have sat here and been like, when is this video gonna end? I am sorry, but yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed it. Whether you're coming back from a long day of work or a long day of school, or just need something to watch before you go to bed, or you just want to see what all I got, hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully in 2026 I will get more stuff. I think if I get more stuff for my American collection at the moment, what I want to do is try to look into World War I canteens, or maybe World War II canteens, not sure, just ones on the cheaper side. And maybe, if anything, I would really love to get into getting a U.S. military canteen, the what would you want to call it? Like the Spanish American Civil War style canteen, which basically was what we replaced with the M1910. So maybe one day I'll get one of those at some point this year. Not this year as in 25, but in 2026. Who knows? We'll see. Just time will tell. I'm not too worried about it. Probably buy one off eBay or something, unless I can find one on somewhere locally or something like that. Who knows? It would be nice though, because a lot of them are really expensive on eBay. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I can see why. But I think that's pretty much it. I think that's really my focus with the American military stuff, besides maybe at most getting more medals, because I'd really love to get more medals. But I think if I do another video like this right now, it's just going to be going and getting one out for the German stuff that I have, which really, I don't know specifically how I want to do that. I kind of got to think about that one, because some of the stuff I have, a lot of it's real, but there is one thing I believe that is fake. But there's another thing that came with it that I'm not even sure if it's fake. It's like a little postcard, I guess. So, I don't know. Maybe in the video I'll mention it whenever I do that, because at some point before the end of the year or next year, you know, start of next year, something like that, I'd love to get one out of just all my German stuff, like coins and the 2 canteens I got, and just other random stuff. It would be a lot shorter than this, though, because I wouldn't go too in-depth, because I've already done that with most of the stuff. So, yeah, hopefully I'm not talking too quiet for y'all. It's like 2 in the morning. So, yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it off right here. Thank you all for the support. I actually just checked my channel, and we got a subscriber at time of recording. So, we are at 225 subscribers and should still be at 100,000 views. So, thank you all for that, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day and a great night.